Hello, I'm Tom Bailey, and in today's episode, I'll be speaking with Neal Schaffer, who is the founder of the digital marketing consultancy PDCA Social. He's also a popular keynote speaker, podcast host, and the author of 4 sales and marketing books. So, Neal, hello, and a very warm welcome to today's episode.
Hey, Tom. Thanks so much for having me here.
I really appreciate it. And out of interest, whereabouts are you in the world right now?
I am in Southern California, so about 15 minutes away from Disneyland for those that have ever been here.
Incredible. Thank you so much. And let me now share just a little bit more about Neal before we get started with the interview. So, amazingly, Neal also teaches at a business school and at the Irish Management Institute. He's fluent in Japanese and Mandarin Chinese, CMO for several organizations, and has spoken on 4 continents in more than a dozen countries. So, you've been keeping yourself very busy, Neal, from the sounds of things.
Pre-coronavirus, yes.
Yeah, I bet. Fantastic. And the title for today's episode is How to Implement Digital First Marketing. And Neal is going to show us how to do that in just 7 minutes. So, question number 1 today is, who are your ideal clients?
Oh, well, my ideal clients, it's funny because I don't really have a specific niche.
Yeah.
My background is B2B, but I also work with B2C companies. And
Hmm.
my ideal clients are really those that need marketing help,
Yeah.
whether they are a startup and they don't know how to leverage digital and social media marketing. Maybe they are more mid tier, but they feel that their staff are more junior and experienced with digital, or they're a more sophisticated enterprise, but they need to move a new direction with their digital marketing. Those are the types of ideal clients for what I call my fractional CMO service.
Fantastic. And these people who would require this service, what's typically their biggest challenge, do you find?
Well, the biggest challenge is that they're either not doing the marketing that they know they need to be doing, or their marketing is just not working. They
Hmm.
they they know it's outdated. They see a lot of spend, but they don't see the results. They know that their competitors are doing better in the marketplace. It's usually a combination of those things. Sometimes it's just their competitors. They have new earnings reports and they attribute how they did well to their digital marketing or to their social media marketing.
Yeah.
These are the sort of trigger points that usually drive executives to seek out people like myself to help them.
Great. And I guess if they don't get their marketing right, what impact does that have on their business typically?
Well, marketing is really it should really be the engine for business growth. So you
Yeah.
can have as many salespeople as you want. You could have, a website and do all the things. But if you're not really creating the right product for the right market
Hmm.
and really, being where people are looking for information related to your product or service, obviously you miss out on a tremendous amount of potential and it could really stall the growth of your company to begin with.
Fantastic, thank you. And I guess if anyone's listening to this and they're resonating with this message, they're struggling with their marketing, what's the one piece of advice you typically give them to get them started in the right direction?
Yeah, so I've been working on this concept called digital first marketing that you hinted
Hmm.
at.
Yeah.
And it's funny because in 2020 in March I published my 4th book, which is called The Age of Influence. The Age of Influence is all about influencer marketing.
Hmm.
And I had a load of companies reach out to me for help with their influencer marketing. But what I realized with coronavirus is that a lot of the basic digital marketing things that they should have in place, they didn't.
Yeah.
So I ended up working with these companies primarily not on influencer marketing, but on everything else.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
really, coronavirus, and I think that obviously it's going to be gone, hopefully sooner than later.
Hmm.
But some of what it brought to us are going to remain with us. And I think the entire digital transformation of how consumers do shopping, look for information, consume media, that is only accelerating. So digital first marketing is really looking at, okay, where are the main areas that we need to invest when we think digitally? And those main areas are going to be search, social, email, because those are the
Yeah.
3 things that people tend to do digitally. They're searching for content, they're reading emails or texts, or they're in social media. So we
Yeah.
really need to have a 3-pronged approach. And we need to approach each of these with a digital first mindset, meaning that just throw away everything you've been doing outside of digital. I mean, it's
Hmm.
still important, but it's just not as important going forward. And really focus on, hey, go back to those early days of coronavirus. Remember how you could not communicate with your customers unless it was digitally, and take that mindset and that spirit and start really strategically investing in each one of those 3 areas.
Fantastic advice. Thank you so much. And so, those people that are listening now and they do want to get started on this journey and move to digital first marketing, Do you have any resources or content or guides or anything you can share with them to help them really get started in the right way?
Yeah, I am in the final stages of proofreading a free ebook. I'm actually writing a book. My next book will be on this digital first approach. I really wanted to create a digital marketing playbook
Yeah,
because I don't think it exists. And if it does exist, it's from like a decade ago where we didn't
exactly.
have TikTok, we didn't have influencers.
Yeah,
So that book is yet to come, but the preview, which is this free ebook, will be coming out hopefully in the next week or two. So be on the
incredible.
lookout for that. It's going to be called Digital First Marketing, so you probably can't miss it.
Amazing. And is the best place to get that your website?
Yeah, that'll be on my website,
Yeah,
nealschaffer.com.
fantastic. Thank you so much. And I also know you've got a membership available as well. Did you want to talk about that briefly?
Yeah, so much like Tom, the listeners of this podcast, I also have a community or people that read my blogs, listen to my podcasts, read my books. Some are more from the corporate side, and they're the ones that tend to invest in this fractional CMO consulting. But there's also a lot of entrepreneurs, small business owners, marketers that just want to up their game,
Yeah,
consultants, coaches, and what have you. And I funnel all those people so that I can help them into a group coaching community. So
great.
it's part group coaching, it's part mastermind just because of the caliber of people that have
Mhm.
joined. And it is a paid membership community. But that's where, I just launched this on April 1st of this year. So I'm really excited about the results that I've seen so far. But yeah,
Mhm.
that's where I think I can help. If the one-to-one approach is too expensive for companies, but also people want more of a community and they want to be networking and want that mastermind experience, then I would push them, or not push them, but introduce them
Yeah,
to this
introduce them.
digital first group coaching membership community and all the benefits they can reap from that.
Great. So what I'll do then is I'll post the link to nealschaffer.com in the show notes, but I'll also post the link to the membership as well, so people can click on that and find out more if they are interested. So on to the subject of you for a minute. And the next question is, what would you say is your greatest mistake or failure that you've made in business? And what did you learn from it?
Well, we all make a lot of failures, and I can go back in my career before I was a marketing consultant and look at failures I made in B2B sales, what have you. I think overall the biggest failure is not executing fast enough
Yeah.
when opportunity knocks. And this is something that everybody can attest to, and everyone's probably
Mhm.
nodding, but it is a reminder. You don't grow unless you fail. You don't fail if you don't execute. It's all about the execution. Gmail was in beta for like 15 years, I think, until they said it was an official product. So
Yeah.
be in beta. It is a living, your company and products can be a living entity that are constantly morphing and constantly improving. And you're never going to get to the perfect stage at any point because your competition's changing and consumer needs are changing, what have you. So just accept that and embrace it and execute.
Great. So fell forward and don't wait for it to be perfect before you launch it. The
Amen.
the last question today is, what is one question that I should have asked you that will also give some great value to our audience today?
Ooh, I suppose it would be all about because I wrote this book on influencer marketing, and up until now, a lot of the podcast interviews were around that. But it's really, if it's funny because you listen, obviously, people that are listening to this are podcast listeners, and people don't talk about influencer marketing, but they talk about it in a different way. They talk about, hey, you should collaborate with other people in your industry,
Yeah.
collaborate with other podcasters or YouTubers or content creators. That is influencer marketing. You're tapping into the power of others. And
Hmm.
that is the number one way, other than creating video and creating TikToks, if that's your thing,
Hmm.
the number one way to really leverage social media is this concept of collaboration with other people in your industry, collaboration with your employees if you're a bigger company, collaboration with your customers. I really want you to think about that hard. Those are going to be the things that are going to get you the farthest in social media marketing.
Amazing. Some great advice to end on. So, Neal, thank you so much again for your time today. I really appreciate you coming along for this podcast.
Tom, I love how short, snappy, and the value that you add on this podcast. Thanks for having me. This is going to be great.